Oh, hello. Do you think that Big Brother is watching? Or that the Illuminati is planning to take over the world? Have you had an encounter with a space alien today? If the answers to those questions is yes, then grab your hat. This is tinfoil hat time. Welcome back to tinfoil hat time. I hope you guys are ready to have all of your data collected. They're watching. Everybody's watching. Big Brother's watching. The space aliens are watching. All right. Well, greetings, everybody. Tech Bismo, how's it going there? All right. Daniel Turbs, how's it going, man? And let's see, I think I saw the Sea Bear jump on there too. Sea Bear, how's it going? Has anyone heard of Facebook's AI creating their own language? Yes. I read a little bit about it. I'll talk about it when I get up into Facebook area. Brian, the Computer Geek, how's it going there? I hope you have your snazzy tinfoil hat on too. Oh boy, Haddock Dev, how's it going there? Albert Crow, hi there. Chip, greetings. I keep meaning to call you Chip. You only live like one town away, and sorry. Just craziness has been ensuing in my office of late. Robert, how's it going there? Down there in neck of the woods on Wednesday. I should be free Wednesday. I'll text you my number or something, or email you my number or something. We can meet together. Let's see. You interrupted me playing Doom. Ashamed. But, are you playing Doom on a printer? Even sadder still, do you realize that modern printers with their cute little LCD screens are sufficient enough to run Doom? Kind of exciting. Ramiro, how's it going there? Greetings. Welcome, Guatemala. All right. Well, I think we have a representation from around the world. Down there on Wednesday. Yep, I'll try and email you my number. I think I finally connected the Linux email address to my Debian computer, and so I can email you my number. Let me know when you're in town, and we'll grab some coffee or something. All right. Well, we are talking today about the automatic collection of everything. Tinfoil hat. I have my head wrapped in foil. There you go. That works too. You know, tinfoil hat, whatever. All right. Gavin, how's it going there? Hey, I mentioned Ubuntu Mate as well. I like Ubuntu Mate. I've been enjoying it. Show you back to school binders. Tech Bismo, you can PM. The if you go. Somebody help them out there. If you go to the YouTube page. When you're logged in, click over. It's one of the tabs at the top. When you're on the channel page, you can send a private message. We'll do that. Or, you know, we can do Google Hangouts because we both seem to have a Google account. That would work too. Let's see. Sean's opinion. How's it going, sir? In 2018, Doom will run on your clock. It probably already does. Well... We are today talking about the automatic collection of everything. Why is my title banner not showing up? Every now and again, my title, like I actually built it today. It's just not showing up. There it goes. Now it showed up. We were talking about the automatic collection of everything. And what I did, I'm actually just kind of pulling from a lot of different resources. We've mentioned almost all of these on past shows in various places. I just want to bring it all together. Excuse me. So I'm going to keep note of where I am, and I'll come back to right there in the comments. So what is the problem with data collection? Obviously, there's two major issues that people talk about when it comes to data collection. The first is the government is spying on you like Big Brother is. That honestly is, I mean, it should be a bigger concern of mine, but it's not a super huge concern of mine. For me, the biggest concern is actually what the companies are doing. That's my biggest problem. And the reason is the companies are collecting up all of this data to build up profiles on individual people to get the marketing so targeted down as to titillate your temptations. Now, if marketing is in advertising is merely about teaching me what products are out there, hey, informing me which products exist, hey, that'd be awesome. No problem. The challenge is, though, is that it's so narrowly focused now to totally separate you from your money, and it's irregardless as if that would be a good thing for you or not. And that is kind of that challenge is making sure that that you keep that general premise going. And so what I'm interested in is I'm blocking as much data collection as I can in my life, simply for that reason of I really just don't want to give the marketing companies more information about me. And so that is really what I wanted to start in on there. So let's see, we got watching from UK. Awesome. Very cool. Brings love Ubuntu 11.04. That was the first Ubuntu I tried, actually, 11.04, I believe. It was either 11.04 or 11.10. I think it was 11.04. It was in the middle of the summer, so. All right, you will soon be able to run Doom on your glasses, watch books, canned food, and more. Yep. Hey, James Miller, how's it going there? All right. Someone's already made a port to Google Glass. Probably. All right, so the first level of data collection I want to talk about is the contacts. Of course, we have our phones and devices, and our phones and devices all have, they have contacts stored on them. And one of the things that I find most challenging is getting your contacts and moving them around to different places, especially on the iPhone, which I have kind of decided that this iPhone SE is the last iPhone I think I will get. If I ever need an iPhone in the future, it will merely be as cheap as I can get it for testing purposes only. I'm just having difficulties with being able to jailbreak the thing, getting into, just blocking out certain things. I want to block out host file scripts, and I should simply be able to export my contacts in some sane fashion. As of right now on the iPhone, the only thing you can do with your contacts is move your contacts out by a third-party app or put them through iTunes. And so what's happening is a lot of the companies regarding our contacts are locking us either into the phone manufacturer vendor or into the carrier vendor. So you could install iTunes, or I could use Verizon, Sprint's, AT&T's, whoever's app out there in order to move my contacts around. And I do not want to give my contacts to these companies. So I have found other solutions to that, and I'll talk about that. Now, obviously, there's been some debate on the new Skype, and I had a couple of articles pulled up, but I was reflipping everything on the before the show started. And the one thing, despite having an extremely aggressive ad block script, and I even tested running ad blocker, the site was it was like a news site from UK. What's going on over there in UK? It was a news site from UK that had nearly pornographic advertisement on it. So I kicked those articles out because I'm not showing stuff like that on this channel. No, not a chance. And so with that, I want to talk a little bit about the Skype. So if you go back and look at my Skype video from a few weeks back, you'll know that I showed you on the screen where simply agreeing to use the new Skype app on either Android or iOS, you are agreeing that Microsoft is going to take all your Skype contacts and send them to Microsoft, and all of the contacts on your phone and send them to Microsoft. And there's a gentleman on my channel left a comment on that video the other day named Alex. And Alex said, how is this not a huge invasion of privacy? If my phone number is on my friend's phone and they have the new Skype, I have not consented to Microsoft collecting my data. How are they collecting my data? But they are. And so you have a lot of those issues. Of course, iOS is locked in. We already talked about the phone carriers. So as far as your contacts, yeah, it's pretty challenging. But what I've done about that is I run all my contacts through K-Address Book, where I can export the contacts and upload it into the phone. And you're never really building contact lists fast enough that you cannot manually update that thing. What you're going to hear from me today is that the best way around all of this data collection you possibly can do is you want to do things manually. You know what's going on, you know where the data is, and you do it through a system that's not spying on you like Linux. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about that. Let's see, what else do I have here? Comment-wise. Okay. Let's see. I already said hi to James. Let's see. Anyone else out here going to use Ubuntu Mate or Peppermint? I actually use Ubuntu Mate and Peppermint on two of my different computers. One of my personal data backup computer runs Ubuntu Mate, and my one of my writing computers runs Peppermint. So I'm using those, both of them. And you know, I don't know which one I like better. I put Peppermint on the small little netbook computer with 2 gigs of RAM. It runs awesome. Ubuntu Mate is on my big computer, just on an alternate hard drive. I've deleted most of my internet accounts, including my Microsoft account. Yeah, I still have a Hotmail account, just for junk accumulations and things. But other than that, I don't really use much. Just installed Peppermint on a Dell from today. Sweet, very good. How's that running? Somebody who jailbroken watchOS so you can run it on your Apple Watch along with full desktop. Did they yet? Just made a run at SSH and stuff. All right. Okay, too late. Somebody already did that on a watch. Someone even ran Doom on the MacBook's new touch bar. That's kind of funny. That's hilarious. Do you have a tech channel? How to set up a router, WAN to LAN networks, trying to attach old router to new router to create 2 networks. Does anyone have a good tutorial in Linux? I would check out, see if Level 1 Tech channel does that. They might do something like that. I can usually make stuff like that work, but I don't have tutorials on it. Sometimes I usually mess with it until it gets going. By the way, school starts tomorrow, and since it's first day, bedtime is reduced. I might be off at 9:30, not sure. Other times be 10. All right, well, hey, you know what? Got to get some sleep for school. I wish you guys best in school if you're starting up school this week. Good luck on school year, and keep pushing that Linux. Keep pushing that Linux. Wish you guys the best this year. Keep on, do your homework, do good in school, man. I'm going to sound like your parents. Good. All right. All right, if you're using a smartphone, how do you know the device doesn't collect data anyway? It does. That is a problem. Open source software and hardware. I've been keeping an eye out, by the way, on the Ubuntu phone because it was all ported to another group. What's their name? I forget their name, but if you look them up, a new group has completely taken over the Ubuntu phone. They're working with the open source module phone project. And they actually have 4 phones in full development working right now. A couple of those are actually available over here if I change carriers. So I'm kind of keeping my eye out. I want to say it's an LG 90, I think, is one of the officially supported Ubuntu builds. So I'm keeping an eye out for that. To my understanding, I can get it running T-Mobile. That's about it. All right, what I'll probably do, Tech Bismo, is I'll probably just shoot you back something. And if you want to call me, then I want your parents to be there. All right, so I'll shoot you back my business number, and you guys can arrange that. But I'd be glad to look at your binders for you. I just need your parents if you're going to call me. Because I believe you're a kid. All right. Open source on Apple iPhone. Yeah, no. Hey, Anna Rita, how's it going there? Did I miss anything? Not yet. I talked a little bit about the original Skype and things like that. All right, my comments are coming in too fast. We're going to go over to the next article before I fall too far behind here. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about, of course, is Windows 10. What does it collect? Everything. So I pulled up because after 2 years of people complaining, hey, Windows, what are you guys collecting with this basic Windows data collection that you cannot turn off? They finally came out and said, transparency and more controls for you. So here's their list from Microsoft. This isn't some, Alex Jones conspiracy theory psycho. This is from Microsoft. What does the basic Windows diagnostic events field collect? By the way, I'm not going to scroll through all this. This would actually take 10 minutes. They cover every bit of pretty much everything. I can't think of anything left for the advanced fields, honestly. But a lot of it is system diagnostics, but they also have keylogger stuff in here. There is certainly microphone stuff. There's image stuff, camera things. If you're logging in with cameras and devices, all that stuff goes to Microsoft. Of course, in the latest version, even the DRM is sent to Microsoft, because you cannot even, according to what I understand from Napster's forums, with the new Windows builds, you still cannot download a WMA file and play it on your computer unless you're on the internet, because every time you play that file, it goes up and checks the DRM prior to playing that file. So they are collecting absolutely everything, and you cannot turn this off. So if you are using Windows 10, this is what they are collecting on the basic diagnostic. This is not basic. This is not basic, okay? This is super duper advanced. So Windows 10 collects pretty much everything. So this is what got me away from Microsoft products, is the data collection inside of Windows 10. Now, not to be outdone, Facebook collects almost as much as Windows. So this here is actually from ProPublica. This is 4 different videos, and I encourage you to check this out. I'll go ahead and drop the links there, the link here in the comments, or in the chat rather. This link here is, there's a series of videos on here which really explain a lot of what, in this case, Facebook does. They have Facebook, they have how pricing algorithms work, because it's funny that in lower socioeconomic areas, prices are increased. The places where rich people are, things are cheaper. Machine learning, so AI, well, they do AI over here, machine learning, and they separate these out. This is 4 little videos to watch. It's fascinating. But this article here, they actually have a tool for Google Chrome that you can download this extension and see what Facebook says about you. Now, I apparently am doing a pretty good job, because I went ahead and downloaded this on Google Chrome, logged into Facebook, because I actually do have a Facebook account. I log into it about once a month. I use it to keep contact with some friends. But I block Facebook everywhere else. Realize every other computer I have, I block Facebook on. So Facebook has assigned me out of, I think they have like 29,000 categories or something. They have assigned me to 38 categories. One of them actually represents something that I actually like in real life. Most of them are things that I absolutely abhor. So yeah, I'm not going to see relevant ads on Facebook, if I ever see ads on Facebook at all. A, I'm not there. B, that's, you know, B, if I am there, it's not for long. All right, so this article here was a fascinating article on all of the demographics that an advertiser can do. So if you have an advertiser account at Facebook where you can decide where your ads are going to, he actually took a picture of all this to share with us. Probably broke against the terms and conditions, but regardless, this thing here is how you can set. So you can determine your location. So basically identify people traveling in the location, recently at this location, or everyone in a given location. Here's your demographic. What age would you like? What gender? Your relationship status. These are all things that you can select in the advertiser's back-end dashboard to decide whose profile is your advertisement going to go to, which languages you're going to use, what is the educational degree that a person has, what fields of studies, schools, who are the employers, what are the job titles, what are the industries you're targeting, income ranges, net worth, your home ownership, your household composition, what type of office do you work in, what generation are you from, your ethnicity, who are your parents. This is specifically to all parents, new parents, parents with toddlers, parents of preschoolers, preteens, teenagers. Here is moms, specifically moms. I feel sexist here. I feel left out. There should be one here for dads. Class action lawsuit. Let's sue Facebook because they're leaving me out. My gender is not properly represented. Here's your life events, like away from home, in a new relationship. New relationship. Oh, stop pushing them bad ads. Oh, newlyweds, newly engaged, upcoming birthday, friends of, one or the above, friends of people who have all these things. So you can now promote your new gift to your potentially new relationship people. Yay! Oh, here's your interests. Not to be outdone. Here's your interests. What are your interest areas? What types of things do you do on your entertainment? What do your family relationships look like? Your fitness level? Are you into Zumba or gym? Are you into dieting or bodybuilding? Woo! You into what type of food and beverage do you like? Hobbies or activities? You like pets? Oh yeah, we're going to show you cute pictures of little baby kitties. Shopping or fashion, sports, technology levels. Oh, what are your behaviors? Do you like to ride a motorcycle? Do you have a car? Do you have a new vehicle? Ooh, you can upsell some new insurance. This is crazy, people. Just to catch up, if you're not catching on, this is the panel that as an advertiser, you can narrow down the focus of your ad. Okay, this is insane. This is insane. Okay, they are getting to that point. This is what I said, where the marketers are trying to collect as much data as possible so they can narrowly focus you down, because they know if they get you down to a good enough level, you will buy. Eventually, you will buy. This is simply a scheme to separate you from your money. So, I mean, this is... yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Let's have a look at comments. There's a lot of them coming in. Oh boy. Wow. Last 2 live streams. Hey, how's it going there, Carbon Programmer, Google? All right. I still have 4 weeks until school. Ryan just started. Right. Android is vanilla. Are you in sync with Google anyway? And if it's Samsung, sorry. Man, I hate emojis. I considered watching the Emoji Movie the other day just for the lols, but I decided not to spend that much money on the Emoji Movie. I'll find a copy when it's cheap. Today, every app is only a client that needs the internet, pretty much. And Rita, OMG, holy moly, probably in response to that Facebook lunacy. Dad has a company that repair computers for computers, but my dad explains if he would recommend Linux, the client wouldn't have problems anymore, so when Dad puts Windows, he knows there'd be a problem. Replicant OS, I think I'm not sure. That's 100% no Google. All right. Back in 5. All right. Actually, no. There are many apps you can run without the internet. If you need to install apps, use F-Droid or APK files. There you go. Got to turn on your phone onto development mode. Just look that up if you're trying to install those. Okay. I went to Linux Mint Cinnamon after tweaking some stuff on my computer. Sweet. Linux Mint Cinnamon is awesome. If you have a touch screen, make sure you get on-screen keyboard too. Love ProPublica. Yeah, they're pretty cool. There's a lady that speaks, I forget her name. She has some things, works for ProPublica. I really like her stuff on privacy and stuff. I don't use Windows or any social media, but YouTube. Yep. Machine learning scares me. It scares about everybody. Only use Windows on a machine for Visual Studio. If I didn't use Visual Studio, I would be Linux full-time. Yep. That's about how it goes. Facebook even tracks people who don't use Facebook. Yes, correct. Best way, if you don't use Facebook, just go to your host file and block Facebook from your host file. Good for you. Linux is not so bad. Once you start using it, you'll get to love it and never go back. Yep. Yes, Facebook, like on it, then Facebook hooks it. Yes. And there's even things that don't necessarily have Facebook things. As long as they're running the Facebook tracking pixel, that's all they need to track you. And it's really, you'd have to look at the source code of the site to see if that's actually the case. I mean, non-internet apps are basic calculator, file manager, rest is anyway a server or system of mine built millions of apps. Something like they all are known as impossible. But, come on, Google. For a new user, almost impossible to know how to prevent that if you disable an option like sync and trust. Yep. Facebook. Yours assume my gender? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I did not see a spot on there for unicorns. I'm going to raise a fuss, Facebook. Well, I don't use Facebook anymore. Yep. I use it for buying, sell, connecting with friends. Yep. NSA level tracking stuff. Yep. They did not include, yeah, there you go. Anna Rita beat me to it. They did not include unicorn people. Loving Linux Mint Cinnamon right now. Yep, that is why I run Linux Mint Cinnamon, because it just absolutely is the best OS for me. George Orwell was entirely correct. He was just 33 years off. Everything he said happened is now happening. Yep. I've been on Facebook since 2006. I still get emails. Some of them might actually be scams. I get a lot of scam emails from Facebook. I use Debian SAD to stop Microsoft from tracking on my computer. There you go. That works. My Mint Mate install doesn't like my USB ports. Huh. Interesting. Microsoft purchase of LinkedIn is another issue. Really don't want it to, but my college expects everyone to have an account. Yeah, as soon as I saw Microsoft was even considering buying LinkedIn, I thrashed the account. Not to say they still don't have a copy of it, but I did thrash that LinkedIn account. That had nothing to do with Microsoft. Mojo Movie is paying for one big ad. Yep, that's right. Only an ad. Seen it? It's bad. It's only a giant ad. See, all the more because I love watching horrible movies with my friends. It is like, I love it. It is absolutely fun to sit there and watch horrible films. So that's why we were thinking about it. But we decided, we're going to wait until it's cheaper. Facebook is a business and people forget about it. Yep. And if you don't buy from it, you are the one that one that's being sold. Microsoft always demands people to buy retailer computers to pay the Microsoft tax. Yep. All right, so the next article I want to look at is actually another one that really details how Facebook is collecting all of this information. So several different translations if you need it in a different translation. So basically, how does it collect data? Well, first, anything you give it. Second, anything you do in interacting. Third, any of your friends that interact with Facebook also collects your data. That's why if you send me a friend request on Facebook, you are immediately unfriended. A game request. If you send me a game request, you're immediately unfriended. So you can't do that again. And of course, anything you do on any other website that happens to have a Facebook element. So yeah, Facebook pretty much has a means to collect about everything. The good news, everything still functions through the facebook.com domain, which means you can block all of that Facebook tracking by simply blocking Facebook in your host file. 127.0.0.1 facebook.com, 127.0.0.1 www.facebook.com in the host file will thrash Facebook entirely. They can't track you. They're not going to add anything up. They can still collect information. If a friend of yours happens to have your phone number on their phone and they have Facebook and they synced it together, then Facebook can connect your name to your phone number and now they'll have your phone number too. And that should be flat out illegal. I should say I want nothing to do with this company, so this company must just completely destroy and permanently, unless you hear from me otherwise in writing, never collect data again. That's what should happen. So what does Facebook know before you post? Pretty much everything. Is you type out this information before you even hit the post, they collect all this information too. Because what they're looking at is what you call last-minute self-censorship. So last-minute self-censorship means that this person needs to come in and they're basically seeing it. We covered this on forms collecting information a while back. What happens is you run a JavaScript code in here that as you type in, it sends your responses to Facebook. So even if you delete it, Facebook still has it on your account, but it's flagged as deleted before posted. So they know it about you. It's just nobody else really sees it. And that's kind of scary stuff. So there's actually some people questioning if that's something that should be allowed. So after you post, of course, they collect pretty much everything. So photos you upload and photos tagged of you. So if someone tags you in a photo, that is certainly a challenge. I think one of the reasons Facebook has me so confused is a person I know who uses Facebook marketing for the division of his company. He actually found an interesting, innovative way to make sure that things appear in people's news feeds faster. And that's on all of the ads for what he's doing on his business. He actually tags every person he wants to see that ad. So it tags as a person, and it totally messes with Facebook's algorithm. So I've never told them to stop doing that because it totally messes up Facebook's algorithm. They'll have a hard time figuring out who I am. Anything I've ever posted on my own timeline, even if you delete it. Friends, when I became friends with them. All my private messages. Events you've attended, and every single device you've ever logged in from. Allow that to sink in for a moment. Every single device you have ever logged in from. There's some ad topics. What does it do with all this data internally? Facebook does quite a lot of things. It conducts simple queries and information to improve site performance or to do business reporting. With Facebook, there's a twist. It has an entire engineering team dedicated to building tools to make data easier to query with SQL-like language built on top of Hadoop with Hive. Although Facebook claims access is strictly controlled, some accounts say otherwise. That guy, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his name, director at record label Ajunu Beats, brought attention to the issue when he posted on Facebook that a visit to the company's LA office employee was easily able to access his account without asking him for a password. Well, that's just creepy considering the amount of psychopaths in this world. Second, Facebook conducts academic research by using its users as guinea pigs, which, by the way, this should be so absolutely illegal because to do any research project which requires a human subject, you have to do an entire human subjects review committee prior to getting that thing resolved. And that's why Facebook itself should have been fined out of oblivion for the little emotional experiment that they were doing a few years back that they got caught with their pants down in the middle of. And frankly, the academic institution, the PI should have been completely immediately terminated for conducting human research trials without that, which is actually a jailable offense, I believe, in some instances, depending on the results. And, so we had that. So shadow profiles. This is a particularly creepy one. Shadow profiles it will create profiles, which is a collection of information other people say about you if you do not have a Facebook account. Now, for businesses, this is particularly annoying because as I wrote my book, I had a Facebook page linked to my other account, but I published my book with Thomas Morosky, PhD. I do not want that as my Facebook page, but Facebook absolutely insisted that's my Facebook page. So any business inquiries about my book or my Christian stuff on Facebook is Thomas Morosky, PhD, which I totally hate. I wanted it to be linked to my brand, which is Our Walking Christ. Nope. Can't do it. Can't do it. Well, they do the same shadow profiling thing based on individual people. So anybody that's tagged all over Facebook because they don't have an account, your parents are putting stuff up about you, your brothers, sisters, your friends are putting stuff up about you. They have a whole collection about you. On top of that, they're collecting all of the other things that you still do, still linking that to the profiles, making good guesses as to who fits into what profiles and where. And then all of a sudden, they have all this information. As soon as you create an account and the shadow profile exists on you, you would not believe the accuracy by which it knows everything about you. You can create that account. The very next screen, it's going to know who your parents are, who your friends are, who your siblings are, what all your interests are, where you go to school, what age you are, all this kind of stuff. That is creepy, and that should be absolutely flat out illegal because I have not consented to follow your terms and conditions or your privacy policy. I think it should be absolutely illegal for them to have that information. All right, see you later, Tech Bismo. And I'm guessing Sudo Linux is probably out as well. So we'll catch you guys later. What relationship does Facebook have with marketers? A very undercover one. They have 29,000 demographic indicators. 98% of them are based on users' activities on Facebook. Roughly 600 data points come from independent brokers. Experian, yeah. So Facebook buys information about your entire credit history. They know that about your profile. You see, we need a law in this country that says, I do not own Facebook and I do not consent them to owning it. And if they are caught with one person's data, every CEO, every executive, every investor send their butts to jail for a long time. Because this data collection, without consent, without understanding, without being able to opt out, without being able to clear it, without being able to see it, should be absolutely illegal. Send them to jail. Get me out. I want out of their system. I don't want to have a profile on them. I do not want all that stuff. And if I choose not to have an account, a shadow profile should be completely illegal. Everything should be illegal that they're doing as far as this level of data collection. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. The amount of things that they're doing. Buying from credit reporting histories, background check companies, all sorts of other groups, all of this kind of stuff. They're collecting it all. And there's nothing I can do about it. That should be illegal. Of course, here you can target people down to very narrow things. If it's too narrow, it tells you, oh, your ad is too specific. Try making it broader. But I'm not going to comment on the government. They might be doing that. Probably are. Now, according to Brian Lunduke, he said that once he deleted his account, they did actually delete everything. But I'm wondering if they are still creating shadow profiles. That'd be a good question for Brian Lunduke to ask them. Ask his engineers on his next follow-up. Do you still have a shadow profile on me? How do I not have a shadow profile? That is that thought there. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at our comments. Still a lot of them here. All right. Does it even make it hard to install Linux by using Secure Boot? Yes, that is true. Anything that touches Facebook gets tracked. Yep. I deleted my Facebook account through a virtual machine to make sure they don't install flash cookies or tracking software. Then I destroyed the virtual machine. Yes. I sync nothing in my computer, tablet, cell phone. Everything is manual. Yeah. Sudo Linux, if you told me you want to watch the Emoji Movie. Sudo Linux. Tell me you want to watch the movie. Okay. Mark Zuckerberg hired someone to track user information. They should accidentally track Zuckerberg himself. I have 122 gigabyte SD card. Everything important goes on there, and I back it up regularly. Why are you acting like you hate it? Okay. Java has many more security flaws in addition to what you mentioned. Yes. I don't think I have Java installed in anything anymore. I used to have Java for one of my jobs. Our screen sharing application needed Java or something. Was it? Yeah, it's a screen sharing application needed Java. The program we were using needed Flash. So that made for a rather unsecure computer. 128 gigabytes, good enough for me, backing everything up on Sunday at 6. Yep. The Tor browser changelog has quite a lot of JavaScript fixes and stuff. Yeah, I'll tell you, if you use the Tor browser, though, the first thing you should do is go in and disable JavaScript. Hello. JavaScript IP demaskers is the number one way you can figure out who is on Tor. Facebook would be the last website I would ever go to. Yep. Sudo Linux. Did you want to watch it to see how stupid it is? That's what I was gonna do. Talk about the Emoji Movie. I want to watch it to see how stupid it is. I'm just not interested in giving them $10 at the box office. This ignorance is awesome. Knowing 5% of the true is insane. How do I put this? Entertainment websites probably have trackers in Facebook. All right. See you later, TechBizmo. Okay. Human experimentation isn't internationally illegal. Good night. Study hard. Yep. I make my browser delete everything every time I quit browsers, so it's good that cookies are gone. I wish I could eat them. Also, Sean's Opinion TV. Make sure you also delete any Flash cookies and don't let Flash run, because you might have zombie cookies that will come back even if you have everything delete on the browser closing. You would need, on Linux, you need BleachBit to get rid of those usually. Companies are all in bed with each other. Yep. Made my portal gun. I'll send them all to jail for you. Awesome. Facebook is an evil corporation. Yes. It's not even cool. And what pissed me off is that it's legal. Yes. Now what Facebook knows about you is abysmal. Do you really know what my credit score is, where I work, what you do for a living, all my hobbies, all the transactions? Really? Facebook? Yes, they do. They have all that. They're buying that information up from data brokers. Actually, about when I first started in web design, my first big contract, I actually worked for a group out of Florida. They were called Net Detective. I'm not sure they still exist anymore. But basically all they did is they ran computer algorithms that scraped every public website for a bunch of basically any public information that was out there. You know, traffic tickets to, you know, little fines to addresses, phone numbers. We scooped all of this stuff up into a centralized database, and for like $30 a month or something, you could have access to that database. We also did the Megan's Laws things, so I coded the original HTML emails that came down through Megan's Law, like Megan's Law emails through Amber Alert. I think it was Amber Alert emails. I think it was we were coding, but it was interesting stuff. But I mean, that was back a decade ago. But yeah, they know, and they know even more now. That mic was all on the red side of the meter. Sorry, man. I'm going to get yelled at for being loud again. And somehow, some way, this is legal. Students have even been denied entry into college over Facebook. Yep, that's how Facebook is. And the thing is that we just need to be smart about what we do on these things. I'm not saying never have a Facebook account. I still have one to communicate with a few people that are not reliably on having phones and emails and things. So I do that. It's just, I lock down Facebook. I lock it down so you cannot, they cannot track me on any typical computer. They could track me on the computer I have with it. And I'm thinking about moving that just on over to the Cube's computer. So I just isolate it to one Cube. 162 has seen a lot change. It's nuts. Okay, late night thunderstorm. If I disappear for some reason, now you know why. I had one of those the other day. Facebook is often used to dig up dirt on people. Okay, before you know it, they'll need to know what underwear I use to sell me more of them. Well, Amazon's working on that. Come on, that little thing with a camera you put in your bedroom. You ask it, does this outfit look good? That thing's creepy. Hey, Chateau, how's it going there? Frito Bandito. Do you steal Fritos? Bandito. Okay, I think that we need a new constitutional amendment that declares we the people are the owners of our own data. I concur. At least the games were better off and Windows was actually good. Okay, apparently I wasn't leaving at 9:30, it was 10:30. All right, cool. All right. Hey, Demiana, how's it going there? All right. So that's Facebook. Oh, let's also not to mention, I don't think I have an article on this, but let's not to mention that Facebook is now one of those groups with Google that can collect like 70% of all offline credit card data to link that in. So if you use your credit or debit card at some brick and mortar store, yeah, Facebook knows that too. Scary. Well, let's have a look at Google. This is an AdWords measuring results information. So this is actually talking about how Google tracks your offline brick and mortar store things. So if you happen to have a device which has location on and you are logged into a Google account, they know where you go. And all that a store has to do is they have to have more than one location. It might be more than 5. I think it was more than one location. Small number of stores. Let's see how to set it up. So what you need to do is you need to have multiple locations for your store, and then what you do is you create the Google profiles, and then you pin where all those are on a map. And then as person walks over, because if you have Google services and location turned on your device, whether it's an Android or an iPhone, you keep this bad boy in your pocket. You're walking around, get around to back to your life. You can actually pull up a Google map and see everywhere you've been. Well, what happens is the brick and mortar stores that create their business profiles, including their location, they will be pinged anytime an individual data point goes into their store. So it's a means that they can assess how well the advertisement is working. They can say that so-and-so probably saw an ad and then so-and-so was in such and such a store. So you have that kind of information going for you. That is what some of the things that Google's doing. Of course, in addition to having the location trackers to figure out where you are based on your location, they also have access to 70% of credit and debit card transactions in the United States alone. So they have access to all of this information. They take all this, they put it in there. And of course, this data is anonymized, but it's actually fairly easy for anybody to anonymize it given just a little bit of information. So they're tracking not only what you do on the internet, they're also tracking all your credit card purchases. They're tracking your location. So they pretty much know everything about anybody. And while the individual advertiser, the individual company may not be able to say that this for sure is you, the fact that they are so narrowly targeted you in that marketing, that in and of itself is a scary enough thing because it gets at our temptations. Realize what a temptation is. Get theological for a moment. A temptation is a little thing that keeps on pinging us until we follow that thing that we shouldn't follow. Well, that's the same thing that the marketers are doing. They're trying to build up exactly the things that are going to push our hot buttons, and then they keep on pushing and pushing and pushing the hot buttons until we buy. Even if I've decided not to buy because it's not in my best interest, eventually they will overcome that impulse, and out of emotion, out of passion, I'm going to buy. So seeking to make emotional responses in people, not to make your logical responses. So Google's doing all this stuff, and of course Snapchat does the same thing. So police, this is in UK, police were warning about child safety because the new Snapchat update, this was just a few months back, the new Snapchat update would put people on a map. And so if you had kids, younger kids using Snapchat, you know, they could be Snapchatting with some perfect stranger showing up on the map, and that perfect stranger could be tracking them all the way down. I mean, this is bad. This is dangerous stuff. This is things we need to keep in mind. Now, I believe this was an opt-in, but it was remarkably easy to opt into, such that some people were, oh, look at this. We can't establish a connection to the server at facebook.com. Good. Yo, blocked, yo. And so what's going on here is that the police are saying, hey, if you have kids that are using Snapchat, be wary of this thing. In fact, on the iPhone, Android's making it a little harder, I think. But on the iPhone, you can go into restricted mode. You can turn off location, keep it off, and then they could not do that. So that's something that you could do. All right, let's have a look at some comments here. There's something a while back about companies wanting Facebook passwords in order to inform new hires. There was, but that was ruled illegal. So there were a few things. First, Facebook fought against that because obviously it is a huge, huge security risk. If I have to give my Facebook password to somebody, that's a huge security risk. So a company can request that you be made their friend so that they can see everything that's on your public friend side profile. They may not request your password. That was addressed in court and was clarified. So yes, there was something like that, but that's what ended up being the case with it. My parents told me that if I want a job, you better delete your Facebook account, and I did that way before. Absolutely. Absolutely. You do not want a Facebook account, especially anymore. I think Facebook's become, it went from being interesting and trendy and to sort of fun to a little bit annoying to now it's simply a place where angry people throw out their own political views and their multi-level marketing crap. So Facebook really has no redeeming value on it at all. In fact, I can't remember the last time I've logged in and scrolled through the timeline. I have no idea when that was. I usually log on, check up there, see if anybody sent me a message. If not, log out. Unless I'm specifically looking for somebody, then I'll log in, send them a message, and that's all I use it for. Facebook filed a patent to use your camera to see how you react to posts. Yeah, and that was 3 years ago, I think. That was, in fact, prior to them running that emotional experiment. Basically, what they were doing is you're sitting here on Facebook, they were using the front camera, whether on your device or on your computer, and then assessing your emotions, and then because the thing only shows a few posts at a time, it would assess how you feel, and then it'd push back a different post. And then what would end up happening is you'd get to this point to where you were only seeing you were seeing things based upon how you reacted to the camera. And that is probably what they got in trouble for with human studies, because that's dangerous. I mean, kids commit suicide over stupid stuff on Facebook, and if some kid had committed suicide because of depressive things, and it was linked back to that Facebook study, I mean, well, someone would probably get paid off, but somebody would be looking for jail time. That's what would happen. Because they were doing a psychological, emotional experiment on a person that did not consent, leading to death. That's a major deal. But these people don't care because they got enough money, they can pay a little fine because a big corporation, they have access to all of the rights and responsibility, or all the rights we have, but they have none of the responsibilities. They cannot be held accountable. If I go out and break some stupid law, I'm looking at jail time. If a company does that, it's a fine, usually 1 to 5% of the profits of what they made breaking that rule. That's what happens. So, and I'm not anti-business. Anti-big corporation maybe, but definitely not anti-business. All right. TV. Delete everything on the internet. Be sure you get a job, but it can also raise red flags. Good here. Thanks. How am I doing? I am doing pretty good. Alright. Honestly think picking up an old Samsung Fire cyanogen mod on it, even touch Google services. Nope. Everyone at Facebook. Not everyone is at Facebook. I don't believe the number of active accounts they claim to have. Some are multiple accounts of the same user, particularly games have alias accounts. Yeah, that's true. And certainly a lot of people are kind of abandoning ship because of how silly it's gotten, or at least just not using it as much. Everyone switched over to Amazon and Snapchat, whatever. In order to avoid being tracked, don't carry a phone or have a Faraday box and use cash. Absolutely. Amen to that. Can a parent lock applications on an Android cell phone and tablet? I believe the newer versions of Android you can. It depends on the version of Android. I tried to do that on my friend's phone a while back when I was talking about that story, and the version of Android, of course, because it didn't get updates, was too old, couldn't do it. So to my knowledge, I don't think you can. It depends on the version. I think there's a newer... I think in the newer version of Android, like Marshmallow and above, you can do that, but I really don't know for sure. I know you can on an iPhone. I don't know about on an Android. Remember, Facebook is now an ad company accountable to shareholder, no longer social media as it claims to be. Correct. Hey, young kids under 12 that agree to the terms and conditions, including YouTube, and there's information is collected when it is illegal. Okay. See, somewhat the point of tracking on kids on Snapchat, but it should be a parental opt-in. Yeah, but it's not. Or the parent's like, oh yeah, whatever, okay. No other services to replace Giggle or alternatives similar to Windows to Linux. Services that replace Google or alternative similar Windows to Linux. There's actually, like, what are you talking about? Chatur, what are you specifically looking for? Because there's actually there's Colab, which you can get a corporate level account and a hosted account, or you can self-host it, which is basically like a Google type system. It contains email, LibreOffice, etc. So Colab is one. Spider Oak might as well. You might have Spider Oak as an option, but I don't know. Clarify what you're looking for. What do you do? Go back to writing letters and cell phone calls? No, Fredo, I'm going to get into that. Fredo Bandito. I'm going to get into what I do next. Any good parent wants to know where their kids are. And that's the conflicting thing. Do you want to shut off location services because you might have an app that tracks their location? And that is a legitimate use of a location tracker. If you have a young kid, it'd be handy to have location services turned on for the purpose of tracking where the kid is, that I could pull him up on my phone and see where he is. That's certainly something worthy of consideration. There's other weird, funky ways you could get around it. You could, in theory, if you could route all of the traffic through a VPN, you could actually do an IP, let's see, could you do location tracking? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I don't know. If people want to see my photos, they know where I live for coffee and cookies. CDOM died because of legal claims with the name. The original owner left taking CMod with him, so instead people in the community own CMod. They created Lineage OS, which is a fork of CMod. Okay. I should have mentioned that your device is supported. Okay. Clinton used Bleach Bitch, didn't she? I don't know what she used. Probably. Probably. Sent you a message, check your email. I will look at my email when I'm done here tonight. With the recent situation that Facebook can read your mind thought project and suggests you through that what's in your mind. Well, they can't do it on me. I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, so I am protected from this. But for the rest of you suckers, you know, I have not heard anything about the mind thought project, but they do have the fun emotional thing that uses the camera. Of course, they have a hard time on my camera because there's a piece of masking or a piece of electrical tape over that bad boy. Let's see. It says they still can get info about Lineage OS, but the phone is dead. It could survive drop down the stairs, drop on cement, not a drop onto the floor, and accidentally kicking it. Put in the final nail. I use DuckDuckGo as an alternative search engine. There you go. DuckDuckGo is wonderful if you get used to its UI. People say, aren't you using Google? Yeah, I cannot stand the UI of DuckDuckGo. That's why I don't use it. Cheating husbands must hate GPS. Yes. Some people misunderstand Linux users. Yes. Original location services were meant to be used for 911 emergencies. Yes. And they still are. Nextcloud also offers multiple services. You can be self-hosted or they're expanding. Okay. So Nextcloud is another option. I have not had a chance to look into yet. YouTube alternatives that are not good, like Dailymotion, VidMe, Vimeo, etc. Okay. I don't know anything about Dailymotion. And VidMe, I'm Eli, the computer guy, completely put the coffin in vid.me for me. And, you know, and I looked into a lot of the stuff myself. I found the same. Vimeo is, you know, you have to pay to host the amount of stuff I do on it. I don't want Snapchat tracking my kids. What if Jared from Subway hacked Snapchat? I'm telling you, that's scary. Tom didn't send you any. Oh, okay. I was going to say, man. I'm missing comments here and there, but okay. Nextcloud's really nice. Used it before, loved it. All right. It's cloud.com/features. Okay. Time I go to online, I feel as open that frog I just dissect in biology. Does VPN do any good? No. All a VPN does is kicks all this stuff down to some other company, and it depends on whether you trust your ISP. If you don't trust your ISP, put in a good VPN that you trust. If you do trust, and by trust I'm using trust in the broadest possible sense, I am not an advocate of VPNs unless you're using it to connect to a specific network or secure yourself on an open internet line, like at a coffee shop or something. But no, I generally don't like VPNs. All right. Yeah, my school suspended me for hacking when I was just SSHing into my phone to get a file. Yeah, isn't it funny when the phone IT guys don't know what you're doing? Ooh, you're on a terminal. You must be hacking. You should just go into the school Windows computers, go into the start menus, type CMD, get the thing up, and ping Google all day long. See if they think you're hacking Google. It's fast in Windows, getting easier to use. Yep. People think using a terminal means you're a hacker. Yep, pretty much. All right, so what do we do about all this stuff? What do we do? Well, first I identified some online strategies and some offline strategies about all this. So the online strategies, first is you minimize your account logins. Don't create an account just anywhere. Ask yourself 3 times before you create an online account, do I really need this stupid thing? If you need it, create it. If you don't need it, don't. And then minimize the number of computers that are used to log into that. So remember that Facebook checks every single device you've ever logged in on. So if you only have one computer, then what you need to do is go down to the store and spend $20 on a good USB 3 flash drive and install another version of Linux on that flash drive and use that little Linux computer to log into your devices. So that's one thing that you could potentially do. so let's see. So let's create a specialized computer. If you have multiple computers, designate one computer as the one that you log into accounts with. But I mean, I really like the idea of using a flash drive for that because it really, I mean, it does a good job. If you really want to be crazy paranoid, use something like Tails or just something on a live CD distribution so that you can log in and just completely kill the thing. Or alternatively, if you have a good enough computer, just boot up a virtual machine. If you don't want to mess with that, boot up a virtual machine because you can literally be doing Facebook here on the same computer and then be doing something else, on that same computer. So that's another option, is use a virtual machine to do that. So until the companies get in line with this stuff and realize, like, I'm not opposed to advertising. I'm opposed to data collection and being tracked. So for me, it makes sense for me that I want to run ad blockers and tracking scripts that are going to block all these, which means that if the ads get blocked too, that's fine. Whatever happens. Because they're misbehaving. I will be glad to look at your ads if you're giving me ads that are relevant to the content I'm looking at. Chances are, if you're putting an ad on something that is relevant to the thing that I'm watching, I probably will have an interest in the advertisement in addition to the video I'm watching. Just a no-brainer there. So with that being said, I advocate running ad blockers and blocking scripts just because they're misbehaving. And if they're misbehaving, I have to protect myself. As much as I would like to help support some people, like I have no problem watching ads on YouTube, and I will turn off ad blockers on YouTube where I can, because you know what? I understand that the ad revenue is useful. But what I won't do is I will not be subject to tracking. And so if it means that I'm blocking some of those scripts, then that means I'm blocking some of them, because I don't need that. And on top of that, it saves me a ton of data. It saves me, things load way faster because I'm not pinging all over the world with scary tracking ad scripts that are probably downloading tons and tons of images and videos and inappropriate crap to my computer. So that's that. As far as offline stuff, the first is, of course, use cache. Checks where possible, but even checks now are digitally tracked. So use cache absolutely everywhere where possible. Using cache is the best way to go. And it's so freeing too. The second is, do not use a Shoppers Club card. Many stores, you can go up and scan the store card. And I might start making a big deal if they don't keep store cards. I keep telling Wegmans they gotta have store cards up at the front. Because if I go in, I'm like, I want the store card, they gotta call over a manager. Like, that is ridiculous. And I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it inconvenient for people like us who actually care about our privacy. But don't use Shoppers Club cards, because all of that information, those things, it might be saving you a few cents, but all it's doing is sending a whole lot of data about you to other people. Or, crowdsource these things. Get your Shoppers Club card, split it out between 3 or 4 people. Everyone use that thing, and nobody, this totally confuse the store. So you can do that. Of course, when you go shopping and go out, work on a list. Don't shop on emotions. Buy things with logical decisions, not based on emotions. So that's kind of what I had to say about the solutions there. All right, let's do a final comment check through. All right, library called the campus police because I downloaded a picture of the university president. You evil hacker. Don't you know that's what Mark Zuckerberg did on facemash.com? Terminals were how the first computers were used. Yep. My school, I got that distorted face from the other kids when I open a terminal and type apt-get. Dead me. Sometimes I wonder if I'm smarter than the IT guy there that thinks Windows 8 can run on a computer that came with Windows 2000. Oh, God. Windows 8 won't. Windows 10 might, but Windows 8 won't. But, okay, school, maybe it's time to upgrade your computer. Just a thought. Okay, note to the school districts. If your computers are older than your students, they are out of date. We got that cleared up? Good. And yes, that one is including front cam on the thought reading project. That's how Facebook can do the mind and thought reading thing. Sweet. Use a headless system. Yeah, my Windows 10 computer is a micro PC with it has no cameras, no microphones, and I actually disabled the wireless card as well. I went in there, opened the thing up, and removed the wireless card. In fact, I think I completely removed it. That might be the unknown wireless card sitting in the drawer down there that I'm like, where'd that wireless card come from? I think it came from my Windows 10 computer. Better ping Google because that's how to hack. Even better, open the console on the development tools on Firefox. That's called local hacking, man. Scared of going inside the Linux terminal in school because Windows people. I just want you to update my machine. Yeah, and I'm just finding, as you know Linux more and more, like I needed to install Kid 3 for testing something. Somebody asked me a question. I'm like, yeah, I could go into Discover and search for Kid 3, but I can open a terminal and type sudo apt install Kid 3 way faster and it's done. Just have to mess with it. Use TeamViewer. And fun fact, not trying to brag, but teachers in my school use me for free tech support. When people go to play movies, they call my teacher to send me up because Blu-ray doesn't work on DVD drives. Yeah, that's unfortunately getting to be the way the world works. And this is the thing. Like you're a guy, guaranteed you're a guy who sat down and learned all this stuff. Those of us that will sit down and learn things for ourselves are going to be at an infinite advantage over all of the other people that just sit there to the school system and go, feed me. Because if you want to watch a fascinating song, I'll go ahead and find it and link it in here. But if you want to find a fascinating song, I'm going to give you one. But yeah, I'll get there in a second. Let's see. Copy link location. Come on, where are you at? Copy link location. There you are. All right, so here is a fascinating song called Don't Stay in School by Boy in a Band. And that is just a fascinating take on Western education. Of course, he's British, but it applies here and there. So, all right. Will the Magic host file ad block thing work on OS X? Yes. I have it successfully deployed on my Mac Mini, and it works like a charm. Use Mini2 to watch YouTube because there are no ads. Plus, you do not need to use browser, so you do it. And it's free and it runs on Linux. Okay. Minitube. I will have to look that one up. Let me write that down. If you don't want to be looked at as a hacker, then you can change the terminal color to black text and white background. Yeah, it'll look like a text pad. That's what you can do. Put a comment on the video you made on a comprehensive tutorial creating and connecting your own VPN. Can you look at it and help? I will have a look at it when we're done here. Change font to time. No, you got to change the font to Calibri now. You guys see somebody got busted at forging a document because it was forged and they forged it on Microsoft Word and they used the Calibri font, which didn't exist until Office 2007, and they were claiming the document came from 2000. The font uncovered the fraud. Pay attention to fonts, people. Fonts are fascinating things. Don't download picture. That's evil you, hacker. Yep. Going to be using Linux USB at school this year in computer class. Yep. Free for Linux, pay for Windows and Mac. Woohoo! Yay, Linux. Let run Windows Linux 9. Okay. With please. Okay. Flash drives with all my software on it. Started that because Firefox version was 28. Okay. Firefox is full of holes. Yep. Your school's Firefox version are still version 28? Do the IT guys know about security holes or what? TOS is live. Cool. Bought by the dark side. My teacher was mad at me because I had to deface the wiring by plugging the VGA cable to her computer. Deface the wiring? Huh. Every web browser has holes, so the thing was holes you'd rather have. Okay. After that, her projector worked and was still mad anyway. for a decent secure web browser than a for-profit browser. Okay. What do you think about web extensions in the latest development preview of Firefox? I have no idea. I actually use very few extensions and all that. I'll have to look into it though. Firefox sent the user data to Giggle for more optimized, and their ad revenue grew. Oh boy, that's not good. I'm criminal for using wget. That's right. Using wget. I'm going to jail for using apt-get dist upgrade. That's right. Anymore, it should be apt dist upgrade. Leave that get out. No legacy extensions, by the way. No script, no uBlock, etc. Oh boy. Got busted by that one's second pause during the transition from the Plymouth boot screen to the light DM with a blinking cursor. All right. I think we've got to the bottom of my articles. We've gotten near to the bottom of the comments, so I think I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Let me see if I can deploy a kitty cam. And we'll go ahead and feed the kitty and wrap this up. All right, later all, have a good evening.